All right, y'all. Welcome back to Sports Mindz, where all roads leads to sports, and we talk ball every season. We are your hosts, Hashmaster Z, Legendarius, and Philthy.
Yes, sir. What's good?
Episode Ocho.
Hey, shout out to LSU and Iowa for, making women's basketball relevant again. We had everybody watching the game. This is live reaction from the boy, Boosie.
They dead. Larry Bird, come get your daughter. Larry Bird, come get your daughter. They dead. Larry Bird, come get your damn daughter.
As you can see, it wasn't really that close. And this was one of the biggest, actually not one of the biggest. This had 9.9 million views, which is the highest women's college basketball game of all time. And the refs still tried to ruin it, yo. They had the whole world watching, and they're like, you know what? Let's get every freaking player of importance in foul trouble. Angela Reese was in foul trouble. Caitlin Clark was in foul trouble. Pretty much like all the damn starters, both teams were in foul trouble.
Yeah.
But what the game really came down to, it was a game plan. Iowa was basically like, all right, we're going to make LSU make shots. Like, we'll leave you open from three. Let's see if you can make it. And LSU was like, we got y'all. They were unconscious, 5 players in double figures. They got the win, 102-85. 102 points in a women's college basketball game is crazy, especially in a championship game.
It was unheard of until then because they shattered the record previously, which was 98.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was just a dope game. It was just cool to see because I feel like with the women's, at least for me, I can see like the X's and O's a little bit more clearly. Maybe because I don't know why. I can just kind of see like the plays break down a little bit more. So I was just totally loving what LSU was giving them and what Iowa was trying to take, and they just could not capitalize at all. And then when it was time to get back on defense, Iowa had no shot in hell, just no shot.
No shot. And just to piggyback on what you were saying about the game plans forming, because I saw that too. And I think it's just mainly because, the drop off of athleticism, when it comes to, men's basketball, professional or college to women's. But I'd have to say the game ran a lot more smoothly in the women's games.
Yeah.
So I just got to say, this was probably like the first women's basketball game I ever was invested in all 4 quarters because I wanted to watch the legend herself, Caitlin Clark. She didn't disappoint. She got in foul trouble, but who cares? Angela Reese did her thing. Angel Reese, sorry. She did her thing. I heard about her in the beginning of the season because I remember she was talking about the criticism she received on, how she was and all that. And I'm glad to see LSU win at the end of it all. But it was it's cool when you see 2 stars, actually shine on the biggest stage. So
well, I don't want to. Let's not get past the undercover player of the game, in my opinion, which was actually Jasmine Carson shooting lights out, 5 or 6 from 3, 7 to 8 field goals. It was just great to see.
Absolutely.
Like, thank you. I felt like Iowa was trying to, oh, here, go ahead, shoot. We don't care about you. Okay, tight. I'm just gonna take it, and they just never adjusted, and they just let her get her shit off, and she took advantage, took this spotlight, made it about her. She killed it. It was great.
Yeah, 100%. And as we all know, we heard all week, the game ended in controversy. We previewed it. We said that, we want this in the women's game. We like the trash talk. So clearly we don't have any problem with it. But, Angel Reese received a lot of backlash initially for, taunting Caitlin Clark. And we're going to play her clip real quick and then we'll discuss.
All year, I was critiqued about who I was. The narrative, I don't fit the narrative. I don't fit in the box that y'all want me to be in. I'm too hood, I'm too ghetto. Y'all told me that all year. But when other people do it, y'all don't say nothing. So this was for the girls that look like me, that's gonna speak up on what they believe in. It's unapologetically you. And that's what I did it for tonight. This was for the more than, it was bigger than me tonight. It was bigger than me. Twitter is going to go in a rage every time.
All right. So, speaking of Twitter going in a rage, let's talk about these tweets. Phil, you the Twitter man. So what was you seeing on Twitter?
I was just seeing a lot of what you expect right as the action happens. We have special individuals like Danny Kanell, former ESPN douchebag, out speaking his mind, talking absolutely opposite. We have I don't want to give shine to the other account, but we know who it is, calling Reese a fucking idiot. And I just that's what happens every time. We embarrass the white heroes, and then the people come in white knight, and then it's just mayhem. We've seen that across every type of media. So women's basketball, no different. And like grown ass men attacking young ass women. You guys are fucking insane individuals. Maybe go fuck your wife. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a family show. Maybe we're not a family show, but the point remains the same. I don't understand why we're attacking young women for absolutely doing their jobs on the court, doing their jobs as students. And the better person won, and it wasn't Caitlin Clark. Oh my God, how mind-blowing. Now, it's bad when Jason Whitlock is actually coming to defend a black person. And we know that Jason Whitlock is one of the bigger Uncle Ruckuses of our sports community. And he absolutely came and defended Angel Reese, because it makes no sense how you just flaming up somebody. I mean, I'd feel the same if there was a shoe on the other foot and Clay and everyone's going against Reese on the other side, then I would say, okay, you guys are being fucking crazy too. But it's not the same. This is a reality. Everyone's going hard for Clark. And it was just totally unfair, totally crazy to see. And yeah, I agree with Reese. Every other black person or everyone else who's a minority, step up, own your shit. If you beat the top person, do what you got to do.
Yep. I agree. And it was just, at least on my side, from what I see, because I'm not on Twitter, but Instagram, same shit. You saw people coming out the woodworks, classless, blah, 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 when they clearly have, it shows that they either it turned a blind eye to Caitlin Clark, waving off the opposing team on South Carolina, talking mess. And it's okay. I love that stuff, and it just sucks that you're watching such a big game and it's marred by stupid stuff like this. Like we're going to remember the after effects more than the actual game, at least with the general public's eyes. So sports folks like us, we're going to remember the game. LSU bullied them, took advantage of the open shots. And, it's a making shots league. Basketball is it's a make your shot game, and LSU made more. So that's what I would like to remember from it. But it's just, my hat goes off to both these stars. Caitlin did her thing as much as she can, and Angel Reese facilitated, got her double doubles, breaking records in that way. But it's just a shame that we had to be divided in this whole ordeal, where it's just like, we just wanted to watch a good game. We didn't have to make it this, we didn't have to go down this road. But since you want to go down this road, we're ready for all the smoke type stuff,
Yeah, for real.
Well, we got to look at it think about it from Angel Reese's perspective. She was the defending National Player of the Year. She's a team leader going into this game. They're in the championship game. All you're hearing, Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Clark. And then you see her doing what she did to Louisville and the South Carolina in terms of the taunting. Nobody's saying anything. So she's like, oh, we going to get, hyping your teammates up. It's like, yo, we going at them and we going to get them back. She doing the can't see me. We going to hit her with the can't see her after we get the W.
She did say that right after that game. You're right. She did say, oh, we coming for you because we don't like that.
Yeah. So she called it out beforehand and she backed it up. So I feel like it's always one of those situations where I'm not even going to, I won't go to it being men versus women yet. We're going to get there. But it's one of those situations, regardless of what it is, everyone likes the drama. It's like, oh, they called it out and then they backed up what they said. But she did it and LSU did it, but they gritty in, they really flexing. You know what I mean? That's really what it comes down to. Like in our culture, like for, black Black America, like that's hard. You're like, that's the culture. It's like, yo, turn up. You got the W. Like you do what you
Yeah.
want. And I feel like that's what it goes. Going deeper, like in our culture, no matter what, growing up, somebody, beat you, trash talking you, whatever. It's like, well, beat them, so they ain't got nothing to say. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Go get your get back. But I can't speak to white culture, but it just feels like, you need to have good sportsmanship, and it's just like, bruh, no, that ain't how it goes. Especially not in sports, in like high level sports, high level competition. Like, you think Brady? Oh, we don't even got it. I don't even have to go to you think. I know. Did we forget what the Bengals were doing pregame?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Did we forget?
Oh my.
Hold
Thank
on.
you.
Hold on, let me drop. This is the mayor of Cincinnati.
Are headed to Burrowhead Stadium for their second consecutive AFC Championship game. Whereas Joseph Lee Burrow, who's 3-0 against Mahomes, has been asked by officials to take a paternity test confirming whether or not he's his father.
We'll see y'all in Burrowhead. Yeah, baby. Let that sink in your mind. We'll see y'all in Burrowhead. God, man. Burrowhead, my ass. It's Mahomes.
Yeah.
Such a great moment.
Hold up. And this was a great moment as well.
On your own, I see. Yeah, I'm smoking the Joe Burrow. You smoking on the Joe Burrow? I'm smoking on the Joe Burrow. How's it feel to be headed back?
No, nobody was saying Kelsey was classless. Nobody's saying the mayor was classless. Nobody's saying Mahomes' dad was classless. Mahomes was classless. But homegirl doing You Can't See Me, she's classless.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's so stepping outside the race realm. I think it's a women thing too, where it's like, oh, as a lady, we expect you to act a certain way. In the moment you become boisterous or,
all that type of. You're very loud.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, that's not ladylike. It's like, nah, F that. These are high level athletes. Like every athlete deserves deserves the right to do and talk their talk, as long as they can back it up, which they did. So
yeah,
I don't see a problem.
And
like you said, Legendarius, I can't speak on white culture like that, but I know when it comes to us, if you don't like it, beat them.
Yeah, and the coach didn't see a problem with it. The school didn't see a problem with it. Caitlin Clark didn't see a problem with it. They had her on ESPN. This was her response.
Yeah, I don't think Angel should be criticized at all. No matter which way it goes, she should never be criticized for what she did. I'm just one that competes, and she competed. So I think everybody knew there was going to be a little trash talk in the entire tournament. It's not just me and Angel. So, I don't think she should be criticized. Like I said, LSU deserves it. They played so well. And like I said, I'm a big fan of hers.
So why are we crying? Like, everyone's like, Caitlin Clark can't defend herself. You know what I mean? That's what it felt like. It's like, oh, exactly. And then we got the what it could have been. This could have turned into a fight. If these were men, it would have been, they would have fought. Bro, men fight all the fucking time in sports.
Yes.
Like, all the time. I mean, it's only for like 2 seconds because everyone jumps in and breaks it up. But it's just like, when they get in fights, are they classless? Which one's worse? Taunting somebody or actually like swinging?
Right, exactly.
I thought the Clark quote was especially telling because I thought it was telling in the way that why does another competitor have to get on the platform to defend another competitor? And hey, it's all gamesmanship. Like, why is it on Caitlin Clark that has to come in and kind of reset the market? Like, guys, what are we talking about here? Like, if you have grown ass men, you have grown ass whatever saying anything, and it comes down to the player on the other side, guys, let's cool it. Come on, I've never seen anyone come out the woodwork for the opposite team talking about, guys, what's going on here? What's going on? Like, she's the voice of reason in this moment. Like, that's very telling that the actual player has to come out and be the voice of reason amongst a realm full of grown ass adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anything, Angel Reese is kind of like, she's like that Draymond Green type. And I feel like, I was like, is Draymond classless? Like, maybe.
They'll make that argument when they want to.
That's just some Warrior shade. But in all reality, he's not. Like, he's a competitor. He will do what it takes to win. He's gonna have his teammates back. And then after he wins, he gonna talk dirty. Like, Draymond was talking not crazy, but he was like taunting after the Warriors got their chips. Like, this happens all the time in sports, and every single time you never hear anybody complaining about it. But this time, everyone's like up in arms about it. And I can't let this slide, bro. After the game, or the next day, whatever, we got Jill Biden saying, I think both teams should come to the White House. Like, I want to invite both of the teams. Like, oh, really? Really? So, in the history of sports, where it's always the champion that goes to the White House, we're going to invite the losers this time. You think if Iowa won and LSU lost, we inviting LSU? She's still going to say that statement? I don't think so.
You know what? I'm going to go back to what Uncle Shay said after that game. He said, see, this is that stuff, Skip. No, but for real. How do you invite the loser? Like, sports is all about what? Winning. And it's not even like it was a close game. It wasn't like they lost 102 to 101 off of a fluky call. They got blown out. Let's just say what it was. And you're over here saying, like, they played so hard. Okay, they lost. So what? And the fact that this was brought up to the national attention, that it's sickening, because good and darn well, if a team played hard and lost, you missed your chance to go into the White House, and that's fine. Keep it that way. I don't care if somebody played hard. I don't care if somebody dropped 60 points out of 88. Like, you're not going. That's okay. Just play better.
They're doing participation trophies out here, bro.
Right.
Well,
exactly.
What's really sickening too, more than anything, is like everyone wants to focus on, like, okay, we got the ref story, we got like Reese versus freaking America story. No one's talking about the actual real problem of dysfunction in the game, which was LSU coach Kim Mulkey breaking literally every single rule written and no enforcement whatsoever. Like, what are we talking about? If the game is actually called with her missteps in mind, the margin of victory is way wider than what it was. She never got penalized for joining Iowa huddles, for touching refs, for straight walking onto the court mid-game. Like, why do they paint the line on the floor for? She just let her do anything. It was a perfect encapsulation of how certain individuals are allowed to move in this world, which is you can break and bend the rules, and it's okay.
I mean, did you see her outfit? Do you really want that smoke?
Well, shit, dude. I gotta do something.
I mean, I agree, but that just goes back to the refs. The refs were terrible. Pretty much the entire tournament. I'm not even gonna boil it down to one game. They were terrible the entire tournament. And in the championship game, they were even more terrible. Like, touch fouls. But it was just absurd. Touch fouls, garbage technicals. Like, what are we doing?
Oh my God, the tees were driving me up the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, foul trouble ruined the flow of the game, honestly. Because it was just like, if Caitlin played the whole time, if Angel Reese played the whole time, who knows? Who knows what would have happened? Probably it would have been more of a landslide, but I don't know. Like, and I just think, like, the bad officiating really disrupted, like, the pure flow of the game. So
yeah. And also, just, if we're thinking about it from Angel Reese's perspective, going into the game, not a lot of people were mentioning her to the point that they are now. So it's like, low key, she blew up because of all this.
Yeah, she really did. She has like this online brand, and people have been like buying the hell out of her stuff. Like, she's definitely blew up from this. Her clothing brand's blown up. She's definitely made that profitable margin she's been looking for.
Yeah. And in reality, this was like the best outcome for women's sports. They had the most views ever. They had controversy that kept us talking about it for like the days following. That's probably like the most publicity that, women's sports has gotten in a while. We need more of that. Mic them up, like we said last week.
Yes, mic them up.
Well, even more so to your
what?
point, freaking Iowa's actually, they had to stop selling tickets because everyone's been trying to buy up season tickets in this game, that game. They had to shut it down. So fortunate for Clark and Iowa as well. Like everyone's going to be eating off this. All the right people, anyways, they're going to be eating off this.
Yeah, and let's keep it real. The women's tournament or women's championship game and tournament in general, that got talked about more than the men's championship, which was kind of just, one-sided. UConn completes their dominant run. They won every game by double digits, and it wasn't even entertaining, to be honest.
No, yeah, it wasn't. I'm watching that. I'm just like, things are happening, and it's like, all right.
Yeah,
I didn't care about the men's tourney like that after my brackets went to shit. So
day one,
right? Yeah, so, day one. I was done. I was like, no.
I'll get back to next year. And I did bless the listeners once again. I went 3-0 that day for the free bets. UConn got the dub. Points went over 132, and Adama Sanogo over 16.5 points, barely 17 points, but win is a win is a win, baby.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you guys are really missing out. If you're not money hunting, you're missing out.
Get your money. It's free. He's giving you free money.
Money. Well, I feel like that about wraps. We don't want to beat a dead horse too much longer. Reese already did that to Iowa, you know what I'm saying?
Hey. We're gonna make him mad.
Let's talk the real professional basketball, because we getting down to the wire.
Roll on in.
Let's go.
He's on fire.
Let's go. We talking basketball. The playoff picture is pretty much set now. Let's talk about the East first.
Let's do it.
In the East, top 6 seeds, we got the Milwaukee Bucks they're gonna be the 1 seed. We got the Celtics, they're gonna be 2. Sixers are gonna be 3. Cavs in the 4 seed. We got the Knicks in the 5 seed.
Fuck your life, Bing Bong.
And we got the Nets in the 6 seed.
Fuck your life, Bing Bong.
York is back, baby. And then for the play-in tournament in the East, it's set. So we got the Heat against the Hawks, and we got the Raptors against the Bulls. Play-in. What we feeling? Who y'all got coming out of the play-in tournament? Let's talk the first games first, and then our predictions for that final game. So Miami versus Atlanta. Who you got?
I got Miami. They've been looking really strong to close out the season. I really like what they've been putting out. The Hawks, I mean, you can't really count out Trey, I guess, right? But I just like what Miami's been doing. They're kind of getting together at the right time. And just overall, they've been upsetting the right teams at the right time. I think it's kind of leaning their way. I mean, Jimmy Butler's looking great. And I think Miami's going to get this one.
Miami's, I agree. So Miami's overall identity is Jimmy Butler's grittiness. So I think, and we all know that Jimmy Butler kind of coasts throughout the season. Some games he'll just ball out, but that's not really his style until it's like, okay, crunch time. Then you're going to see him pull more tricks out of his bag. The Hawks, yes, they can score a lot of points, but they can't stop a soul. And Miami plays defense. So I'm going Miami.
I feel you. I got Miami all the way. You can't even count it. I mean, we didn't even mention the Coach Spoelstra, one of the best coaches in the league, future Hall of Famer. Give him 1 game against the Hawks. I feel like that's going to be easy work for Miami, which will put them in a first-round matchup with the Celtics, which is not going to be too easy for the Celtics. So,
right.
Possible upset alert there. And then you got Toronto against the Bulls. Who you got coming out of that one?
Ooh, this one's a bit more of a tighter one for me
Yeah.
to predict, just because I feel like they have a lot of overlay in terms of defensive identity. It could go cold on offense at any time. So it's very I feel like it's a toss-up. If I gotta choose feet to the fire, I'm gonna go with the Raptors just because I am a Siakam fan. I like the way he's beginning in there. And all you need is Van Vliet to really wake up the one time, and it could be a long day along with Gary Trent Jr.
You know what? Bro, we are on the same wavelength because I was like, hey, I'm actually a Fred Van Vliet fan. Van Vliet. Yeah. Anyway, I'm a big fan.
He's a part of the fleet.
This guy can't talk.
I'm tired. But yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you. I think Toronto. I first of all, I think it's gonna be a good game. You got a good storyline because it's DeRozan against Toronto. You know, they traded away, so good storyline there. But I do agree, Toronto. They're just better all around team. They got the better coach, better roster, and I'm taking it one step further. Not only are they going to beat the Bulls, but they're going to beat the Hawks, and they're going to make the playoffs.
To get swept, or 4-1 against the Bucks.
Yeah, probably like 4-1 against the Bucks.
Yeah, I think they can steal a game.
But so you got Toronto over the Hawks as well?
Yeah, I think when we get to this junction of the season, defense matters. So, if making a stop and making a bucket. So I think Toronto could do that against the Hawks.
Agreed.
And I do like the Bulls. I definitely like, Levine, I like Kobe White and all of them. I mean, the roster, they've got a ways to go, but I just think when push comes to shove, they cannot get over the intensity that Toronto can bring in the fourth quarter.
Toronto's intensity? What about Pat Bev's intensity?
Shit.
Foxhole guy.
He's got to find someone to say they're too small. He's got to find that guy.
No, that's you cannot taunt people in sports. That's classless.
That's
right,
classless.
Come on.
That's
unacceptable.
Get him out. Get him
That's
out.
unacceptable. You're right. Classless piece of shit.
Yeah. Can't be having that, bro. And so in the West, there's a little bit of wiggle room, but this is how it's gonna go. Top 4 seeds are set. Denver's the 1 seed, Grizzlies are the 2 seed, Kings are the 3 seed, the Suns are the 4 seed. As it stands right now, the Warriors are the 5 seed, and the Clippers are the 6 seed. The Clippers have 2 games, but once this pod drops, they'll have 1 game. They should win both games if they want to. The Clippers have the tiebreaker over the Lakers. The Lakers have the tiebreaker over the Warriors. So the Warriors cannot lose a game on purpose. The Clippers can lose a game on purpose.
Which I think they will.
I think they will too, because nobody wants to play the Suns in that 5 spot. So if I had to call it, and this is Steve Ballmer, Ty Lue, these are smart people. The Clippers are gonna drop a game on purpose because they're playing today against Portland, I believe. That's an easy win. Portland isn't even playing their starters anymore. So they could easily win Portland and then just sit everybody tomorrow.
Yep.
The Warriors have to win tomorrow. They're also playing Portland, so that's an easy win for the Warriors. But they have to win that game or else they're going to be in the play-in. Not that they wouldn't win the play-in game, but why would you put yourself in that situation if you don't have to?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a risk. And just a quick question. Are the Warriors at home against Portland?
Oh, against Portland, they're on the road, but it doesn't matter. Portland's not playing any of their starters.
Okay. Yeah, that's a fact. Okay, cool.
So, that's the stage for that. I really hope we get Suns Warriors in the first round, so the Suns can send their ass packing. And that sets up the play-in games. So we got the Lakers against the Pels right now, and we're looking at the Wolves against OKC.
Ooh. Okay. Well, I don't want to be biased. Fuck it. Lakers are gonna take it as far as the Pelicans go. I don't see a scenario where Lakers lose if Anthony Davis plays like he's been playing, motivated. LeBron is clearly still getting his legs back. You know, I think the Lakers have really good rotating pieces to where it's like, oh, okay, no, they got this.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the Wolves and OKC, that's a little tougher. I like OKC's. I like Shea Alexander. So Shea Gilgis or Gilgis. Why can I pronounce
SGA? It's okay.
Why you keep trying to
SGA.
do it? All right.
Stop the cap.
All right, stop it.
Stop the cap.
You can't pronounce the words, Hashmaster. Just go SGA.
SGA still.
Well, I want to start there as well. I want to start with the Wolves, OKC, and then work backwards.
Okay.
I'm an undercover OKC fan. They've been so good they've been undercover good for so long. And I'm speaking that also as a better because they wanted me just oogles of money upsetting the right teams before the All-Star break for years now. And it's great for me. But finally, all their draft picks are playing off. All their secret game plan has been working off. I kind of wish Chet Holmgren didn't get sniped in the preseason because I would have loved to see him play his first year. But we're about to see a run of what's to come, which is OKC always going to be a dark horse right there in the play-in. You're always going to be hovering there for a very long time, in my opinion, just because the dearth of picks they had and the players that they're getting with those picks. And like Lou Dort's killing it. Josh Giddey, oh man, I'm such a fan of that guy. SGA, as a Hashmaster already said, like they have nice pieces on paper. It's just a matter of putting it together consistently. I think once you get Chet back, plus your future picks, man, they're going to be such a force. But sticking to this game versus the T-Wolves, man, I think they really have a chance to pull one over on the T-Wolves. I'm not going to lie. That team doesn't scare me whatsoever. It really doesn't. OKC, I just think they're just savvy enough to where they can pull out and actually end up beating them by about 5 points. I think OKC is going to pull that out.
Ooh.
I think I got that.
Well,
I like that analysis.
Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but the Wolves are gonna beat the dog shit out of OKC.
Ty, I can't wait to see it.
They got all vets on that squad. You give them vets one game. You got Mike Conley, you got Slow-Mo Kyle Anderson, you got Gobert, you got Karl Anthony Towns, and you got Anthony Edwards. Like, just matchup wise, OKC doesn't have any big men. They're going to get abused in the post by either player, whether it's Gobert or Karl Anthony Towns. Like, Lou Dort can maybe slow down Anthony Edwards, but Anthony Edwards could be like a decoy in this game. I feel like the Wolves are too deep. OKC is too SGA dependent. And SGA, although, he does get busy in the regular season, like if you just, shade the defense and also you have Gobert, who's like the best shot blocker in the league, he's not going to be getting to the paint like he usually does. It's going to be a rise in intensity and, it's a playoff game. Even though it's a play-in, it's a playoff game. I'm going with the experience. I'm going with the Wolves. OKC is just happy to be there.
Okay.
That's true.
Well, speaking of being happy to be
bust
there.
that ass, bro. Let's not even stop it. The Lakers about to bust that ass. I think Brandon Ingram will get busy for the Pels, but Anthony Davis is going to be a monster in this game. Nobody can guard him. And from there, it's over. Like, that's really it. Lakers gonna bust that ass. We gonna be the 7th seed. See y'all in Memphis. What's up, Ja?
Yeah, I'm not messing around here. I think the bullshit stops here with the play-in. I think Ham's done with the Roto. I think he's done with this and that. I think once the play-in, it's fuck it. We're hitting the fan. We're hitting the ground running. And assuming AD is gonna land okay every time he leaves the ground, it's gonna be a long day inside the paint for the Pels. And I just think Reeves is just gonna fucking assault the Pelicans mid-range. And I completely trust what everyone else going to do. Vanderbilt, all them. Like, I have no faith. I mean, I have no fear whatsoever on the Pels. I think the bullshit stops here and we begin to push.
And speaking of being happy to be there and the buck stops here, whoo, Mavericks, man, eliminated. I just wanted to point that out. That's insane on how they started off as the 4 seed and slid down, slid all the way to out of the playoffs completely. That is an absolute disgrace.
Hold on. Before we go down that road, we still got that one game remaining. So who do you got? You got the Pels, or you guys picked OKC. I picked the Wolves. Who do you got?
I picked the Lakers.
Oh, yeah, he started first with that. He completely glossed over the Pels. It was like, yeah, Lakers.
No. I mean, so the Pels are gonna lose to the Lakers. So then they're gonna have to play the winner of the Wolves OKC for the 8th spot. Who you got?
Oh, got you.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, after this, no, for me, yeah, like I said, the bullshit ends. So after the Pels, whoever comes out, Thunder, Wolves, I mean, good night. Like I said, I'm fully now that we're here, we're locked in. Now I can fully brandish all my purple and gold. Fuck that. You're fucked, Wolves. You're fucked, OKC. We're getting there.
That's not my question. Who is gonna get the 8th seed?
Wolves.
Oh yeah, sure, the Wolves.
You guys both just said that OKC was gonna beat the Wolves.
Oh crap!
The game doesn't matter to me because they're gonna lose. It doesn't matter.
Oh my god! I think the Wolves can give Denver a run for their money.
I don't. Whoever comes out the 8, like they're done. 4 or 5 games, they're done.
The 8, like I just feel Denver's going to either A, sweep them, or gentleman sweep with 5. So.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
But totally my bad. No, that's my bad because you did lay that question out correctly. I just completely looked over them because I don't see between the Thunder and the Wolves. This is their postseason and this is their finals wrapped up in one game. I don't believe they're going anywhere. That's it. Yeah. So I just overlooked them at all. So that was totally my bad.
Got you. But you have both of them, whatever that team is, you have them beating the Pels. You think the Pels are done?
Right. Yeah, I do.
Correct.
Fair. I'm with you. I think the Wolves are going to get the 8th seed, and I don't think they're going to beat Denver, but matchup-wise, I think they can give them some problems. Again, it's the playoffs. It comes down to vets, and the Wolves got some players, man. So anybody, I really just want Jokic to lose in the first round again, so I can be like, this is your MVP?
Well, but you know what? I was listening to some. I forgot what I was listening to, but something very interesting where MVP. Sorry, Hashim, you're rubbing off on me. The MVP voters, they came through, and he said actually like, oh, I'm kind of hesitant about this whole voting thing because if Jokic wins again, that's 3 in a row. Giannis has 2, Embiid has 0. So if I go Embiid, then it's like Embiid has 1, Giannis has 2, and Jokic has 2. Okay, that kind of looks better. And he was just talking about the psychology of the voting and kind of why he was leaning Embiid. And I'm just like, wow, so are we voting on merit here, or are we voting based on we don't want the stats to look a certain way in the future? So, I mean, that's really their own problem, right? They vote on these players. They created this problem, but it's just very telling that now the rhetoric is this at this point in the voting season.
Yeah.
Well, I think the MVP should just be predicated on who is the best player, hands down, that year. Without, like, who cares if they miss time and you have a winning record? It's like, how much better are they when they were playing? And I mean, I'm not saying that Embiid is the best player in the NBA right now because I think that's, I mean, I don't think so. I think he's top 5, top 3. You put him in that. But I mean, every time he's gone against Joker, it's from if I'm not mistaken, they've won. So, and he dropped 47 on that man.
Yeah, I feel like for Jokic, and it's not fair. It's the way that it is when you're a multiple-time MVP, especially when you win back-to-back and you're going to win again. Then they're going to factor in more than just the regular season because it's just like, okay, you're the MVP first time and you got bounced in the second round, or you got swept actually, Suns in 4. And then the following year, you got bounced in the first round in 5 games. And one thing that I can't stand, because he got the MVP with his team being a 6th seed, and they made all the excuses in the world for him. It's like, he didn't have his best players there, and this and that. Like, basically everything that happened with Westbrook when he was also a 6th seed and got the MVP, and then they went back and said, oh, that was a huge mistake. But with Jokic, it's not a huge mistake, and They're
I love that argument.
making excuses for him. It's like, I don't want to hear the excuses. You gave it to him as a 6th seed. He got bounced in the first round. You gave it to him the year before. He got swept by the Suns. Like, he's not the best player. We're done with this. He puts up a nice stat line. He's an efficient player. He puts up nice stats, but he's not the most valuable.
Agreed.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or maybe he is the most valuable, but he's just not the best.
Yeah. It's just like, at this point, what is the criteria as, for MVP? Most, or should we just rename it most outstanding player in the league?
That's what I feel like is the criteria changes all the time, because I mean, Nash won back-to-back because the Suns had the best record in the league and he was the best player, when clearly Kobe was the best player in those years. So the criteria just changes with whoever basically wants to push the narrative, because if we really wanted to go down that road, the Bucks have the best record. Giannis is MVP.
Yep, I totally agree. And even to your point, Legendarius, I that's something I think about often, even before this season, and really every season when it comes to NBA. The criteria keeps changing, the goalpost keeps moving, and then you just form your logic based around whatever player you want to try and like make the MVP. It's just not clear like every single year. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and they want to factor in games played, which is fair to an extent. You got to play. I feel like you got to play at least like 60 out of the 80 games to be like
60. I that's fair.
But anyways, now back to the Mavs. They were the 4 seed, like Hashmaster said, and now they're officially eliminated. I think they did it on purpose, bro.
Why?
Why? Because last night, if you're trying to get into the play-in game, I think you would have played Kyrie Irving or Tim Hardaway or Josh Green or Christian Wood. You're right. No, your fucking starters. I think you would play them if you want to actually, make it into the play-in game. And I think Luka would play more than 13 minutes.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, like the purpose thing, but it's like, what is the end goal here? What, like it? Well, I just feel it sends a bad message from ownership and all that stuff, where it's like, all right, we're not going to win anything anyway, so sit out. And then I just feel that's a loser's mentality, because it's like,
let me break it down. So what? I said, let me break it down for you.
Okay, so break it down.
The Mavs made the Porzingis trade with the Knicks a few years ago. They have a top 10 pick protected this year. So basically what happens is, if the Mavs make the play-in game, their pick is automatically going to the Knicks. But if they don't make the play-in game and they end up getting a top 10 pick, they get to keep that pick. So I feel like they had the realization, as this whole thing is starting to like spiral downhill, they're like, all right, like, even if we make the playoffs, we're going to get destroyed in the first round. So let's just like not even bother with the play-in. Let's start to tank and cross our fingers that we get to keep our pick, and then we can rebuild from there. Or if we are going to trade Kyrie, now we got Kyrie and a top 10 pick. That's more attractive than just like, hey, you guys want Kyrie? I know we just got him and like we started losing games, but whereas if you're like, I'll give you Kyrie and a top 10 pick, give me some pieces that I need around Luka, which is basically the pieces they traded away initially.
Well, let me provide an alternative for you, because Luka's, I believe he's about done with his deal. So isn't there a possibility he can try and get out of the Mavs this season, this offseason, get a trade?
No, he can't leave till 2024, and they're not going to trade Luka.
No, they're not.
Like, this isn't the NFL, like, where like Lamar could walk.
Well, yeah, NBA, they have more power.
He can walk, yes, he does have that power, but like the Mavs are gonna do everything in their power to cater to Luka's. Like, we will give you literally everything that you request. Do not leave.
Which I think is interesting, because at least what I'm kind of gleaning from watching Luka these past years, I think this dude just wants a chance at a fucking run. I think that's really what it is. I think he's fuck everything else. He just wants a run. So, I mean, if the Mavs can create that for him, sure.
Yeah, I mean, they had a well, this is what the problem is. They had, the makings of that run last year with Brunson. And then once again, Mavs front office dropped the ball. They could have got Brunson for $50 million mid-season last year. They didn't want to give him the offer. So then it's like, all right, if you make me wait till the offseason, there's not going to be any loyalty. So they wait till the offseason, and then he goes to the Knicks. He's like, I'm not even negotiating with y'all. I'm going to the Knicks. My dad is a coach on the roster. Peace out. So
Yeah, exactly.
Luka's perspective is like, you let Brunson walk. And then on top of that, Brunson goes crazy this year. It's like, and we just let this guy walk. And what do we get back in return? Oh, we got absolutely nothing for Brunson. And then you brought in Christian Wood and JaVale McGee, who JaVale McGee doesn't even play. Christian Wood does nothing. And then mid-season, you make this trade for Kyrie. It's not working. So do you guys know what you're doing? Because I went from carrying this team with the 4 seed to now we're not even in the play-in. So it doesn't seem like you guys know how to build a roster. So let me go somewhere where they do know how to build a roster.
Exactly.
Yeah. Shit. It's messy. But at least I'm not a Mavs fan.
Yeah.
Right.
Same. But yeah, man. Playoffs.
Do we buy any of these teams in the top 4 in the West? Okay, let me be specific. Do we buy the Kings actually making a reasonable amount of noise and
They'll be out.
Or what? No. The Kings,
they'll be out.
If the Kings play the Clips, and the Clips don't have Paul George, I can see the Kings winning that series. But after that, no.
Yeah, basically.
For me, the Suns are the best team. Yeah. Now, there's a nothing stat out there, which is the Suns are 8-0 since KD. In games KD plays, the Suns haven't lost a game, which is fine. It's that's cool and all, but literally the last 4 games they played against backups. So I want to hear the stat. They haven't really played against any high level competition in any of those games. But regardless, it's Kevin Durant, it's Devin Booker, Chris Paul.
It's TJ Warren.
No. But the Suns are, I think, the cream of the crop in the West, and it comes down to their health. And other than that, you can't really call it. I feel like it's the Suns and then it's everybody else. But I'm gonna go hard for my Lakers.
Yeah. Are we realistically buying the Grizzlies too? Or I feel like I just all of our talk so far of the West, I feel like we don't really buy the Nuggets, we don't buy the Grizzlies, we don't buy the Kings. The Suns we're on agreement with, and then the Clippers and Warriors, we kind of don't buy any of these teams outside of the Suns, right? And the Lakers.
Yeah, the Grizzlies, they're just injured. They're too injured. They don't seem like big injuries, but they are. Brandon Clark, torn Achilles. That's a big injury.
Steven Adams still out, right?
Steven Adams is still out. And even if he does come back, all right, Steven Adams hasn't played in 4 months.
Yeah.
He's not really going to be a factor. And considering they're going to be matched up against the Lakers, who is guarding Anthony Davis? I know it ain't Steven Adams. He cannot guard AD.
Yeah, exactly.
What was it, Jaren Jackson?
Yeah, Jared Jackson can't guard AD. Jaren Jackson
not the whole game.
Guard anybody. The man is always in foul trouble.
Yeah.
So I'm not really buying the Grizzlies, and it just works out the way that it works out. If you remember when the Grizzlies played the Wolves last year in the playoffs, who was locking up Ja? Do you guys remember?
I believe it was Pat Bev, no?
No, it was Jared Vanderbilt.
Oh.
Right.
Got the clamps, baby. He got the size, he got the clamps, so he's going to lock up Ja. It's a bad matchup for the Grizz, man.
And the fact that, the Lakers got dogs outside of LeBron and AD. So, shit.
But
Billy Kobe, baby.
Wiggins is supposed to be back soon. So Warriors with Wiggins back, you can't sleep on them. But if they play the Suns first round, it's night for the Warriors. I'll tell you that.
Oh, with Wiggins, they're planning for Wiggins to come back for the postseason. I thought they.
No, he's back.
No, he's back. He's
Back?
actually
Oh.
back.
Like he's been practicing all that. He's back.
Oh, okay. The secret weapon.
Yeah, I guess so. We'll see. But yeah, I think regardless, it's the Suns and it's everybody else. Oh, Suns, the Lakers, and then everybody else.
And then we did gloss over the East, but we're still on the same page in terms of it's like the Bucks and everyone else, or we're gonna throw Bucks Celtics in there and then everyone else.
Bucks, Celtics, and then
Bucks, Celtics, yeah. Sixers are just a team that I just have to see them get out of the second round for me to be like, oh, okay, maybe.
I need to see the Sixers come out of the second round.
Yeah, Sixers ain't getting out of the second round. This is Sixers right here.
I'm gonna call you second round. Why second round? Sorry.
That's what the Sixers is. Second round. Goodbye.
Pretty much. Pretty much. The Cavs and Knicks, are they playing for sure? Are they matching up for sure round one, or is that still up in the air? Because I kind of want to see that.
Yeah, Cavs and Knicks is solidified.
Yeah, I do want to see that. Let me ask you guys something. There's a slight detour to the NFL. Just kind of checking. You don't see much movement going on with the big stories with Lamar Gay and Rodgers Gay. I'm just kind of curious because now the rhetoric is slightly adjusting that I've seen is now they're kind of throwing, to Legendarius's point, speaking about the Ravens from last week, they are now considering, we need some contingencies for Lamar. Was that going to be a Stinson Bennett, like Legendarius said, or do you see someone else there? And then for the Rodgers to the Jets, just because there's no movement there, I'm also seeing too is a possibility that the Jets are actually thinking about contingencies as well. Yes, they're moving on optimism, but there's some hidden talks of contingencies if that doesn't work out either. So I was just curious to see where you guys were feeling on that, or are your emotions or feelings still the same on both teams?
Yeah,
emotions are still the same.
Yeah, they playing chicken. We got the draft in 20 days. I feel like the Rodgers deal has to get done before the draft. If it doesn't get done before the draft, I'd be shocked. In terms of the Lamar deal, obviously they're gonna draft a quarterback. So like everyone's gonna like turn it into a bigger deal when they do draft a quarterback. But like, of course they're drafting a quarterback. They have QB issues with Lamar, and not only do they have QB issues with Lamar in terms of his contract, it's like it's been in terms of his health the past couple seasons. So it's like, yeah, let's draft another QB anyway. So I feel like they're going to turn that into a big story. Obviously, the Ravens are going to say, yeah, we're exploring other options. But what they're not saying is we're trading him. They're just saying we're exploring other options, like if he plans to sit out or whatever other threat he can throw out there. It's like they're not just going to like put all their chips in Lamar. Like, yeah, he's going to end up – he's definitely not going to like sit out or anything. He's not like – they know he's upset. So obviously they have to have a contingency plan. And as far as the Jets go, the Jets are idiots, but I still think that deal is going to get done because
I think one of their executives said it's going to happen. So, but it could be just an optimism thing. We'll see. I'm not really going to talk much about it until like something happens.
Okay. Out of curiosity, just I find myself this season kind of looking at, I never used to really put this much attention into NFL drafts in the past, but now this season, I don't know why, I'm just kind of seeing more information than I had before. How do you guys feel about these analysts and their mock drafts? Do you guys even give that any attention, or you just it's like whatever to you? I mean, I'm kind of looking in terms of like entertainment, just to kind of see what the quote experts would say. So I was curious to see if you guys actually look at mock drafts, because I have a follow-up question to that.
I look at it like people I like Daniel Jeremiah, Bucky Brooks. I mean, I'll look at their drafts, their draft stuff, just to see like, okay, I can see that, that type of thing. It's not like a one-to-one, scenario, but it's just more like, all right, just out of a football junkies entertainment, this is pretty entertaining to watch. But at the end of the day, it's all about the front offices, the teams, and the decisions that they make, because you never really know, until it happens. So, but it's always
here's why I ask, because I'm with you, Hashmaster. I'm looking in terms of like, just to get extra information, kind of sports or football starved. Let me get something. So here's what I noticed this week, just kind of looking at mock drafts. There was a particular show that NFL Network has. I forgot what it was called, but they do their mock drafts. This particular guy, gosh, I wish I did bad reporting on on my behalf, but this guy doing his mock, this guy has the Texans actually skipping a quarterback on pick 2, going defense for Tyree Wilson, and then when it comes to their other picks, picking a quarterback, he has them completely skipping quarterback altogether, drafting defensive pieces and offense where it falls to them, and then getting a quarterback next season. I just wanted to float that idea in terms of like how that hits you.
So to actually validate some of that, which is number one, a bad idea. Let's just say,
that was my initial thought. Like, how could you skip on a quarterback your pick right there?
Let's say what it is. That's a bad idea. But there has been official reports floating out there, rumors, that they might go defense with number 2 and get a quarterback later. And it's like, who do we like enough for the Texans to be within that realm? Or could that be them gathering up pieces to build their team and get Lamar? I don't know, but that's just kind of like how I'm seeing it right now, because it's like, if you're as bad as the Texans and you're skipping on Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, hell, Anthony Richardson, I'm not a Will Levis guy, but it's like you're skipping on those 3 for what? Like, somebody to manage the game. You tried that with Davis Mills, didn't work. This whole like, I'm gonna build a defense and I just need a quarterback to not make mistakes. F that. That's not winning football. Especially a young quarterback. No, if you're trying to win, swing for the fences. But if you're going to do a draft strategy in that way, going BPA, best player available, then I would think that you're going to trade for somebody big. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly why I don't do mock drafts, because these theories that get thrown out there are ridiculous. I'd be willing to bet a lot of money that the Texans draft a QB at number 2.
Right. Yeah, and that too, because I just feel like you have no cachet to skip over a quarterback, especially if you're D'Amico Ryans. You have 6 years. I get it. Doesn't mean you're going to last the whole 6 years. You need to win. You need to win at least double of what they won last year, which is 6 games. So no, they won 3 games last year, but they need to win 6. So it's like, you're not doing that with Davis Mills or these hodgepodge quarterbacks that are trash. You need to go get somebody, develop them, stamp your name on it, or maybe they're, like I said earlier, just the dark horse for Lamar Jackson. We just don't know about it yet. So,
yeah, well, that leads to my second question. I think I kind of indirectly got Legendarius' response, but the second question that I saw in regards to mocks was, I'm seeing now like, a deal with the Colts and the Ravens get done, send Lamar to the Colts, and then with that 4th spot, the Ravens get like a CJ Stroud. So I just going off Legendarius' reaction last time, looks like the needle's not going to move with him on that. Just another baseless theory.
Right. Could be.
Well, the Lamar deal, the Ravens don't have to deal him. Like, if anyone gets Lamar, the Ravens are getting 2 first-round picks for him. So, like, they wouldn't be like rushing to make a deal, or the Ravens wouldn't be like rushing to make a deal, and all those other teams have to consider, like, am I really going to give up 2 first-round picks for this guy that's injured and wants a bunch of money? No. Yeah, keep that bum Lamar in Baltimore.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, just that was just the major things that caught my eye. Just like I said, these mocks are so questionably entertaining that I just had to bring a couple of them to the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
Yeah.
gonna have an expert on next week, right, Hashmaster?
Yeah. So I'm not gonna reveal too much now, but we're gonna have somebody, guest speaker, coming on next week. He has pretty good credentials. The coach at the Senior Bowl. He spends a lot of time with quarterbacks and receivers. But we'll reveal that as the week goes on.
All right.
Dang, first guest.
Yes, indeed. And we gonna keep y'all on your toes, keep you waiting. But like always, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, like, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and continue to support what we're doing. And I'm making a bold prediction. This is dropping tomorrow. We're recording Saturday afternoon in the East Coast, still AM on the West Coast. Izzy Adesanya, the style bender, is about to knock that boy out.
Ooh!
Right now.
You heard it here first.
So.
Yes, sir. And we gonna see next week if I'm right or not. Get your bets in.
Get your free money.
Straight up. We out.
We out.